Veganism is a lifestyle. And when you first step onto this path, you will know why you are vegan. But over time, the why can dim. Let's do the intro. Hi, it's Fee here, the Healthy Vegan author and creator of the Gold Card Vegan resource website. Now, we all come to veganism in different ways. This is my story, and I hope it inspires you to solidify your why. Now, my beginning in veganism was actually rather a fluke. I stopped meat because most animal products were too expensive and I was very poor at the time. But thankfully, I knew a little about cooking with beans and lentils because when my son was a baby and a toddler, and as he grew up, he refused to eat animal products. Now, back in the 80s in rural Aotearoa, New Zealand, if you were vegetarian, hey, you must be a barefoot hippie. But if you were vegan, and I didn't even know what that word was, you definitely were an anarchist activist. Luckily, I did have a vegetarian friend, and she taught me the basics of cooking with beans, so my son, I should say, didn't starve. In fact, he thrived, as did the rest of us, because we increased the vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds, although we still had meat on the plate. So when I took the leap into a vegetarian life, and I say vegetarian because my meals still included eggs, I was grateful that my son, who'd grown up at this stage, had become an excellent cook. And although he lived far from me, whenever he came home, he taught me the essential how-tos of vegan cooking, like cooking with tofu, etc. But he also opened my eyes to what veganism meant by first telling me about vivisection or animal testing. And in case you don't know what vivisection is, it's the act or practice of cutting into or otherwise injuring living animals for scientific research. It's also used for product testing, which thankfully is now banned in many countries. Okay, so by now we are a couple of years into the new century and the internet has become a good source of information. And suddenly there was access to animal welfare worldwide. And the more I read and the more I watched, the more vegan I became, which launched me on my first activism journey. At the beginning, it was with SAFE. This is a non-profit organization called Save Animals from Exploitation. And their vision is, and let me get hold of it here, is a world where animal rights are valued. We work to achieve that vision through our mission to end the exploitation of animals. Now, I did work hard spreading that message. I also collected signatures for the different petitions, giving talks, and answering people's many, many questions. And it was because of these questions that I started writing books. For example, one of the first books I wrote was What to Eat Instead of Meat. This answered many of the questions that people had been asking. But my books were more than just the food. So there's very few recipes in any of them. Every single one of them explains veganism and what it means. SAFE, the organisation I mentioned, to this day plays an essential part in being a watchdog with what our government does regarding animals and has managed over the years to be the primary force in changing laws for the welfare of farmed animals. But I kind of wanted to do more. Then Anonymous for the Voiceless arrived in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and to me, the Cube of Truth was a fantastic way to reach people in the street and talk one-on-one. I'd like to believe I helped kind of open minds and hearts, and obviously I'll never know. I've done other activist activities, including, as I said, giving the talks, but being active on social media and writing for mine and other websites, as well as writing for magazines. But then I kind of stepped back when a close omnivore friend of mine had a heart attack. I began to go down the health path. And all I can say is that I am very grateful I went vegan when I did, as I had no alternative but to have whole food, and cooking it became a habit. As I learned and concentrated on whole food, plant-based eating, the activism kind of slipped to one side. I began talking and writing towards the older generation about food for health. Now, at this point, I could easily have slipped fully into this health mindset. But I always remembered my why I am vegan. There is a photo of a pig on my fridge. Now, those eyes are so filled with fear and confusion. What has this pig ever done to deserve being in that truck? In actual fact, I've seen these eyes for real as I've gone about my life, because I've witnessed stock trucks with cattle and sheep heading towards the slaughterhouses, and those eyes are forever imprinted in my brain. This is my why. Now, you don't have to be out in the streets or active in an organisation. Just being vegan and solidifying your why you are vegan is what matters. So whenever you are on a journey, wherever you are on this vegan journey, I should say, keep a photo of an animal that moves you and put it somewhere you can see it daily. Remember, veganism is not about the food so much. It's all about the animals. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and, comment, like, and subscribe. Remember to have great food, make it plant-based, and be compassionate to all animals, including humans. Bye for now.